Hey guys, welcome back on the YouTube channel. You already know what to do. Hit the notification button. You gotta subscribe first. Subscribe, then hit the notification button. Today, I'm gonna tell you guys how I learned the language. How I learned the language. How did I do it? When I came here, I was a French speaker, 100%, and I'm fully bilingual. So, you see the title, you already know it's gonna be about a girl who helped me, some shit like that, right? But let me start from the beginning. I was actually in New York, you know what I'm saying? Because I landed in New York, but then I went to Miami. Then after Miami, I went to Houston. And after Houston, I went to New York again. All right. So I went back to New York and I spent 2 years over there. I went to college, but I didn't really get to practice my English because I didn't have any friends. You know what I'm saying? At the beginning of my journey there, I didn't have any friends, so couldn't really practice the language. But one of my classes was English 101 or English 201, my first semester, right? And the professor, he made me the mentor of the classroom. So I was actually the mentor. I didn't even know how, but I guess it's also because I was getting A's. I was only getting A's and didn't really like understand. But at the same time, it's like I speak French. But when it comes to writing French, like I do write French, but there's something that we call in French dictate. It's just like, writing. And I was always getting in low score when it comes to that, you know, that topic. So maybe that's why, because I was actually the mentor of the class. People who were able to speak English, they were getting D's and C's. You know what I'm saying? And the crazy thing about it is like my professor wanted me to help my classmates, but how? You know what I'm saying? I couldn't even speak the language. So when they were coming to me for help, I was just like, you know what I'm saying? There's plenty of things with my hands. So I'm gonna just leave that part. And then from New York, I went to Maryland. Just to let y'all know, at that time it was like for me personally, I didn't have a girlfriend, and it has been like that for like 3 years. You know what I'm saying? 3 years without girlfriends or anything. You know what I'm saying? So when I moved to Maryland, I was, you know, I wanted to get me a girl, bro. Like I don't know, for some reason it was still hard, but so like I was saying, it was tough to find me a girl. But anyway, I was in Maryland. By that time, I was speaking a little bit, but I didn't really get to learn a lot, from school because I didn't really get to practice. If you want, you can learn all the grammar that you want. You can, learn all the vocabulary that you want. But if at the end of the day you can't really practice, there's no point to it. You won't be able to speak. That's just it. I was just trying, but it wasn't it. You know what I'm saying? So now I can't really say that I was actually, speaking the language like that. So I was like, okay. But for some reason I never really like I was never tripping about that for some reason. Like I was feeling some type of way, you know what I'm saying? Because of course, I wanted to engage in conversations. I wanted to, but I was never like tripping too much about it like that. You know what I'm saying? I knew I was gonna get there because I was watching a lot of vlogs on YouTube. That's what I was doing, and I always say that like I was actually getting myself prepared for that. For that moment where I was actually gonna be able to practice because watching all those stuff, all those videos, all those vlogs from YouTube, I was actually preparing my mind because I knew some expressions. I knew a lot of cultural codes. I knew a lot of things that people usually say here. I knew a lot of, yeah, so I knew a lot when it comes to just the culture and also the language. So at some point it's not even just about the language, it's also about the culture. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're young and you're gonna interact with young people, you gotta get ready, for that. So you can't just be in books, you know what I'm saying? You can't just be reading books, you know what I'm saying? You gotta know what's going on out there. You gotta know like how do they really like, talk every day. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so I was watching a lot of vlogs on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? For some reason, I knew I was gonna get there, and When I was actually in Houston, because I told you guys I landed in New York, but then I went to Miami. I spent 2 months there, and then you know, and then from there, you know what I'm saying, from Miami, I went to Houston, right? I'm pretty sure I got that right. Yeah. Then from Miami, after 2 months, I went to Houston, and I just started like watching vlogs. Watching vlogs. I was actually watching Primetime, King Seed, um, you know, um, I forgot the names, but yeah, I mean, I was just enjoying it. You know what I'm saying? So that's just. I don't feel like this is nothing. Now I gotta tell you about this because this is very important. I was watching a lot of stuff, a lot of. So yeah, so I found myself in Maryland, and as you guys already know, I mean, if y'all didn't know, I'm Cameroonian, right? And there are a lot of girls, a lot of Cameroonian girls in Maryland. So I was like, okay, for sure, I'm gonna find me a girl here. That's for sure. You know what I'm saying? And I was thinking about, you know, getting a Cameroonian girl or dating a Cameroonian girl, but that didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna get into the details, but it didn't happen, and I was still by myself. Didn't know, how I was gonna do. But then I found out about, dating apps and shit, and yeah, that's how I got into it, and I found my first girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? In United States, she was a Native American. She was very understanding. She knew I was still struggling with the language, and she was very. I mean, she was kind and understanding, and I get to have. I mean, I got to have that space where I could just express myself without being judged or anything. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I was never tripping about all that, even like people judging me. I mean, yeah, I do sometimes, you know what I'm saying? But not too much, you know what I'm saying? Like 60%. But yeah, so she liked me a lot, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm cute. So she was like, you cute, you cute, I was thinking like, damn, I mean, I was not even like thinking too much about the situation, you know what I'm saying? I was not thinking like, I was not overthinking anything, you know what I'm saying? And when we were having conversations and everything, I was just joking, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a very funny guy, I'm a very funny person. So everything that I was saying back in the days was kind of like funny to her. So I don't think she would, no, she was just laughing at my English, but I think, I mean, that part a little bit, but she was just like, oh, you cute, you funny, you cute, you funny. And then that's how I picked it up, you know what I'm saying? That's how I picked up everything. And I was just like, okay, now I'm just going to practice and practice and practice and practice. And for some reason, I found that like, oh my gosh, I, I know everything that she's saying. Like I used to hear this in other vlogs that I watched before. You know what I'm saying? Like I know exactly all those expressions, and I also knew how to answer. But then it was just taking me a little bit longer to actually, come up with sentences and everything, and also the pronunciation. So that's how I got to this point. You know what I'm saying? Of course, a lot of things happen after that, right? But I can definitely say that that was actually the turning point of my, in my journey. And I realized that because I had watched all those vlogs on YouTube, I was actually prepared. You know what I'm saying? Like I knew a lot, but just in my head. You know what I'm saying? So when I got to practice with my girlfriend, oh my gosh, I went to a different level, like directly, straight up. Like, and that's exactly what I would advise, you know what I'm saying? Like, somebody to do. You gotta listen, you know what I'm saying? And don't just like, you gotta know exactly what is being said, like, out there. You know what I'm saying? You can't just be in your bubble. No. That's why I was watching vlogs. I mean, I was watching those vlogs because those guys, you know what I'm saying, like they're cool, you know, they're flexing, they're having fun, you know what I'm saying, like they got Reese, and you know, usually they have a lot of girls in their videos, and I like that, you know what I'm saying, boobs, ass, you know what I'm saying, like um Lamborghinis, Ferraris, and things like that. Shit, bro. Shit, I just enjoyed watching them. So for me, I was not even trying to learn. I was just enjoying myself. And then I had my girlfriend, and I got to practice. I got to actually implement all the things that I learned, or to use all the expressions that I didn't even know that I knew. I didn't even know that I was learning. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel like I started like get really freeing, you know, and then that's it. I can also say that me teaching other people, has also helped me a lot, and you know, we keep on learning, we keep on improving, we keep, what I'm saying, like implementing all the things that we learn, and most important, I'm very confident. I don't really care. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how you feel about the way I speak. I don't care how you feel about the way I talk. I don't care how you feel about. I don't give a fuck.